And in our feature segment tonight, with Lance Cuprington, we look at a kingdom in crisis and a hero who has decided to speak up and be the voice of his people.
So how do you feel about this situation?
Well, I hate it. And it needs to stop.
Meet Link, a hero from the kingdom of Hyrule, who has been called on multiple times to save his home from the forces of darkness.
Well, I get called on once every year or so to save the kingdom. Now, this has been going on for about 25 years or so. Usually it's Ganondorf that goes, and he's got these plans of world conquest and all that other stuff, bringing dark forces over to the light world and all of that. And I'm always called on to save the kingdom. And sometimes I have to rescue Princess Zelda, of course.
Zelda? Who is that?
Hell, Zelda is the king's daughter, and I have to go and save her, and she's guarding the Triforce of Wisdom.
In his adventures, Link has started to raise questions about how the kingdom is run.
Well, if Zelda is so powerful and important, why wouldn't they get more armed guards to guard her? I mean, really, the king sits on 99% of the resources of the kingdom, and he can't bring in a couple of armed guards to protect his own daughter? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
How much of the wealth of Hyrule do you think he's sitting on?
Oh, don't even get me started. I mean, realistically, it's almost all of it. Like I said, 99%. I want you to remember that, 99%, that number. It's very important. But
so he is the 1%?
Yes, absolutely he is. And you would think, I'm going out to save his daughter, for crying out loud. You think he could give me a couple hundred rupees, start me off with a sword or, some money to go and buy some bombs or something. But no, I've got to go. And one time, I tell you, really, really, really pissed me off. I had to go into a cave to even get a sword. I didn't start out with anything. I have to go up into a cave, talk to this old guy who gives me a sword, finally. Fortunately, there's all these creepy skeletons and these crazy jumping spiders and everything running around, these octoroks that shoot rocks out, and I mean, you would think that the guy could give me something, but nothing at all.
Did he encourage you to go after Hyrule social assistance for this, or was he just go?
No, he just said go. Just go. Just go. Like, I'm supposed to know what to do. I know I've done this a couple of times before. It isn't my first rodeo. But believe me, it's every single time, and I'm just tired of it.
Many people who know you refer to you as the strong, silent type. Why speak up now?
Normally, I just let my sword do the talking, but I'm not really in a position to do that right now. All the townspeople need to band together and work as one, or else this oppression is just going to continue.
This very reason is why Link has started the Occupy Hyrule movement. He believes that by getting everyone in Hyrule on the same page, they can make some positive changes to their land. So this movement, you'd be the leader?
Well, I'm not the leader, and there really is no leader per se. It's everybody banding together as one for a common goal. I mean, just because I have a sword and shield doesn't make me a leader.
What kind of change are you hoping you're going to accomplish with this movement?
Well, we really want to see an end to the king's greed.
How exactly do you expect that to be done? Like, what changes do you expect to happen?
Well, he'll stop being greedy, I guess.
Doesn't really make any sense.
Look, I got a sword, dang it. Well, I usually have a sword.
I think currently it's in the Stone of Time, and they keep that in the bank at the moment on display.
That's another sheet of bank. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the Bank of Time.
Yeah, mm-hmm. The banks. That's what our problem is. The banks and the greed and everything associated with them. They've got my sword.
Well, who runs the banks?
Well, the king. It's all a conspiracy. It's all against me.
Yeah.
And no, not me. Us. the people. Yeah.
Link's quest to bring the citizens of Hyrule together has not been going so well, but he has garnered a bit of support from a couple of familiar friends.
I've had an older gentleman following me pretty much the whole time, but the problem is he keeps asking me if I want to play money-making game. Now, I mean, despite this guy's poor English, I'll take any followers. It's a sense of community and coming together. But anyways, I finally got tired of him asking me to play money-making games, so I decided to, and all that happened was I just lost a bunch of rupees, and then he disappears. Well, with the king's greed and everything the way that it is, I suppose it's to be expected. I think the biggest supporter, though, that I've had, and really a big surprise to me, is Ben Linebeck.
I think what Link is doing is great. We've been on the king's oppression for far too long, and we've all helped out on Link's adventures. And I've out personally several hundred rupees on my own. I think the king owes us some payback too. I remember the adventures we had. Those were the days. The problem was, my boat didn't exactly stand up to the constant back and forth from island to island we had to endure. I could use a bit of compensation for the repairs, but the king didn't give me one single rupee!
How does that make you feel?
I'm pretty damn pissed off how I feel. He's up there in his big castle, all his guards, who can only look straight, by the way. I think I have like some peripheral vision problems. I don't know what's wrong there. Link walked by them like a billion times. And not once did they ever like, he's standing next to you. Like I would hear. And they see nothing. Stupid ass guards, and the king just pays them, and Link just walks on by.
History expert Garrick Longpaws has been studying the Hyrulean timeline for his entire career.
It is interesting to note how Link is acting in accordance to his ancestry. It seems that his ancestors looked and acted pretty much just like him, as well as many of the other citizens of Hyrule. His ancestors completed quests just like him, but soon became bored and needed another cause to pursue. This seems to be his.
So, what you would say that it's a noble cause compared to the previous quests?
Oh God, no! It's a terrible idea. I'm just saying that it's not without precedent.
So do you have any final thoughts, Link?
Well, all I'm saying is that we have to band together as a people to fight the king's oppression. I mean, I'm all up, cutting your shrubbery down, breaking all your pots, and taking all the rupees. But if people are sick of that, then they have to join the Occupy movement. And that doesn't even take into account what I have to do with their chickens.
Chickens?
Don't ask.
Anyways, with things we didn't need to know about our video games, I'm Lance Cuprington.
Up next, Princess Peach isn't taking any prisoners as she starts her own I Am the 1% Mushroom Kingdom movement. Stay tuned.